Are you curious what $100 can buy you at Walmart when you are trying to stock up on groceries or build a stockpile on a budget? Well, I'm going to show you today. I'm Kristen here at Joyfully Thriving, and I love saving our family money. And one of the ways I do that is by building a stockpile, and I have done it all on a budget. So today I'm going to take you along as I go to Walmart, stock up on some low price items, and I'm going to show you everything I bought along with costs and give you lots of practical ideas how you can find some great deals at Walmart too. Let me show you what I bought for $100. We're going to start right here with the baking goods and flour. I bought the 5-pound bags of flour. They are $2.38 each right now. All of these prices that I am sharing are good as of February of 2025. There was a slight difference between the 5-pound bags of flour and the 10-pound, only 0.1 cent per ounce. So I decided to stick with the more manageable 5-pound bags of flour. I bake bread a lot. I put it on my shelves just like this. You can freeze it for a couple days if you are going to be keeping it for a long term, just to make sure that everything is okay. But flour is a great thing to have, especially if you are baking. I also bought the 4-pound bags of sugar. I keep expecting these to shrink, but so far they haven't. 4 pounds of sugar at Walmart are $3.14 right now. Sugar does not go bad. It does not expire. So this is a great thing that everyone should stockpile for baking or any of your purposes. I did also buy the 2-pound bags of brown sugar for $2.22 each. Yes, I know you can make your own brown sugar with molasses and sugar. You're welcome to do that. And I have done that and do that in a pinch, but I like to have it on hand for a lot of my baking needs. You will notice a lot of these things you are seeing are in pairs. I try to practice the buy ahead principle, buy one for now and one or more for later. So when you're stocking up, think about that. Buy more than what you just need right now, and that's how you start building a stockpile. I also bought 1 container of cocoa. It is $2.94. It is going up, but cocoa as well does not expire, baking unsweet cocoa. So this is something that can last on your shelves for a long time. Let's talk canned goods here, canned fruits and vegetables. Our family eats a variety of fresh fruits, frozen fruits, and then canned fruits. The canned fruit that we like the most is applesauce, which I buy from Sam's Club, and then canned peaches. The canned peaches I bought in 100% juice. These are $1.48 right now per can, and so I bought 6 cans of those peaches to put on our shelves. Those will last a long time, and again, having a variety of fruit sources is great for any family in your stockpile. I also bought 1 can of green beans just to remind you that it's important to have a variety of vegetables in your pantry. Green beans right now are 64 cents. That price is true for corn as well. Canned vegetables are one of the first things I recommend everyone stockpile because they last a really long time. They are picked at the height of freshness, and they're very cheap. They're easy to store, they're healthy. It's a good thing to stockpile. Now I will say I only bought 1 can because at Thanksgiving time I was able to get cans of vegetables for 39 cents a can, and I bought several dozen cans then of green beans and corn because that was a great price, and I took full advantage of the sales. Shopping all the sales is one of the best ways to build your stockpile on a budget. I also bought a 5-pound bag of rice. Rice lasts a super long time and is a great thing to have. Now I paid a little bit more because I did buy jasmine rice. I bought a 5-pound bag at $5.97. 5-pound bags are always cheaper than the 1 pound. You could get just regular white rice, long grain for $3.34. So if you're really watching your costs, go with the white grain. My family does tend to prefer the jasmine more, so that is what I bought. However, I found that I can get jasmine rice cheaper when I buy 25 pounds at Sam's, but I wanted to show you and remind you that rice is a great thing to have in your stockpile. I'll talk more about this in a minute, but I just wanted to say if you need some free printable stockpiling checklists about how to build a stockpile for $5 a week at Walmart, go ahead and grab those at joyfullythriving.com/stockpile. Another shelf-stable option to stockpile is oats. I have quite a bit of quick oats, so I went ahead and bought a container of old-fashioned oats. This is a 42-ounce container here. It is currently $3.98 for all of those oats. Oats, you can do so many things. You can eat them, you can bake with them. They last a really long time. They're easy to store. My kids love oatmeal for breakfast, which is why I typically use the quick oats, but I always keep old-fashioned oats to make my homemade granola and to bake with and all sorts of things. So oats are a great thing to have in your stockpile. Now we're going to go right to the most expensive thing I bought on this trip, and it is olive oil. Olive oil has really jumped up in price. This container was almost $20, you guys. It was $19.28. I went back and forth and back and forth, and I almost put it back on the shelf so many times, but I decided it was a good time to go ahead and restock oils. I know there are a lot of differing opinions on oils right now. Please buy what is right for your family, but I do think it's important to have a variety of fats and oils in your stockpile, butter in your freezer, all of those things. And one of the oils we were running low on was olive oil. So I had the money set aside in this $100 stockpile trip, so I decided to go ahead and buy this. Price per ounce, it was the best deal to buy it in this large container. Compare those prices. Oil will be one of your more expensive purchases, so start with the smaller ones, and as you have room and are able, add more expensive things like that. One of the cheapest things everyone can always stockpile is your pasta. Boxes of pasta at Walmart are still 98 cents a box for all varieties. This is a great shelf-stable thing to have. It makes for a super quick, easy dinner. It lasts a very long time, and it's very affordable. So whether you have kids, whether you're on your own, pasta is one of the things I think everyone should have on their stockpile. I also bought a dozen cans of condensed cream of chicken soup. Now this, I'm sure some of you will go, I would never buy that, and that's fine. The point of this video is to show you that everyone's stockpile looks different, and you buy the things that you need for the recipes you and your family bake. I bake a recipe called poppy seed chicken, which my kids love, and every time I bake it, it uses 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Yes, I can make my own, but this is very convenient, and at this point in time, this is one of the things I stockpile. These cream of chicken soups are 68 cents a can at Walmart, so I went ahead and bought a dozen to add to our shelf. Then I bought some canned beans. It is cheaper to buy dried beans, but that is a time commitment, and I know not everyone does that. I have not started cooking my own beans. It is on my list of things to do, and I know, yes, you can can your own, but for now, this is what works for us. So I bought 6 cans of black beans, as well as 6 cans of pinto beans that I eat and cook with. These are 86 cents a can right now for both of them. And it was just good to refill the gaps in my shelf. I have a lot of garbanzo beans, but was all out of black beans and pinto beans. All right, let's talk tomato products. Tomato products are another great thing to store, and I bought a couple different varieties. If you're having pasta, you probably need tomato products. You also probably need it for your chilies or soups or stews or things like that. So I bought 2 cans of tomato paste. I use that in some recipes as well as canning my own homemade salsa, and I have a very easy homemade spaghetti sauce recipe that uses 1 can of tomato paste and 1 can of tomato sauce. So I bought 2 cans of paste and 1 of sauce. Tomato sauce is 48 cents a can, and the tomato paste is 86 cents a can. You can get a slightly better deal by buying the larger cans of tomato paste. However, most of my recipes call for the size, so I paid a little bit more. But you can freeze tomato paste if you need it. So I grabbed some of that. I did buy petite diced tomatoes in the regular 15-ounce can size. These are 96 cents a can now, which works out to 6.6 cents an ounce. Then I also bought a couple of the larger cans of petite diced tomatoes, and these are $1.48 a can, which works out to 5.3 cents an ounce. So it is cheaper to buy the larger cans, but some of my recipes, I just need 1 can and I don't want to open a large can. So I do try to keep a variety of the 15-ounce cans as well as the larger 30-ounce cans on my shelf when it comes to tomato products. Now, something else to think about when you are building a stockpile is that your stockpile does not just need to include food. In fact, I am a firm believer that you can and should stockpile toiletries. I have a whole video about stockpiling toiletries, so if you want to learn more and see exactly what I do stockpile and how I store it, I'll leave that link below. While I was shopping this time, I decided to restock some of my husband's soap, Safeguard soap. It was rolled back slightly to $6.47 for 8 bars, so I grabbed 2 of those boxes of soap. Soap does not expire. It's a great thing to have on your shelves. And that is everything I bought on this stockpile trip to Walmart. I have done these trips in the past, but this is what I bought this time. Let me tell you exactly the total for everything on this counter. My grand total for the stockpiling trip for 54 items on the counter behind me was $100.07. So I used every penny of that budget and 7 cents more, but I was able to fill in quite a few gaps in my stockpile. If you are interested in building a stockpile like this, I actually have a set of free printable checklists that will give you ideas like this and how I do it on a budget, as well as some ideas for building your stockpile on $5 a week at Walmart with Walmart prices. We're going to talk more about that in future videos, but for now, go ahead and grab those stockpile checklists. The link is below. You can also grab it at joyfullythriving.com/stockpile, and that will give you those free checklists. You can print them off, start checking things off, compare the prices at Walmart, and see exactly how far you can stretch $5 a week. If you have a larger amount of money, it's great to be able to do a stock up trip like this and build your stockpile a little bit more quickly. If you can set aside some money from your grocery budget, or you have a little extra come in, or you're starting to pull some aside, I highly recommend that you do this. It's great to be able to build your stockpile a little quickly like this, a little more quickly, and just see it accumulate. However, most of my stockpile has all been built by shopping the sales and by buying a couple items every week at Kroger, at Aldi, wherever I'm shopping, and adding it to my stockpile. That is how I am able to keep my grocery budget to $5.25 for our family of 6. And yes, that includes all our groceries, our toiletries, paper products, everything. If you want to see more about how I do that, join me here every Thursday where I will share my grocery hauls of everything I am buying for that week, as well as my stockpile, so you can grab some of those deals as they're happening too. Having a stockpile is a huge blessing for our family. It allows me to provide for them. It allows me to make sure if anything happens, I have a practical emergency fund. I have food on our shelves that I can feed my family. If there is a storm, if there is a job loss, if prices get a lot higher and money is tighter, I have food on my shelves for my family. If you want to build a stockpile too, I hope you will take the ideas that I showed in this trip, think through the things that your family regularly uses, and start buying those. It does you no good to have a stockpile built of items that your family won't eat. So think about the things that you use on a regular basis, the recipes you cook, the baking items you need, and start stockpiling those things. If you have any questions about stockpiling or why I bought what I did, or clarification on anything I shared in this video, go ahead and ask me in the comments and let me know, what do you always keep in your stockpile? I would love to know. Chocolate chips is one of my other items, along with peanut butter, but I was already pretty well stocked on those, so I didn't need to buy them. If you would like to see a complete tour of my stockpile with everything that is on my shelves, as well as my toiletries and all the things about stockpiling, I do have a complete tour, and you can go ahead and check out that video next. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you there.